Welcome to the Good Intention Show, coming to you live on the UI Radio Network. The Good Intention Show is sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation at unitedintentions.org, a virtual community where you learn to create, track, and manifest your passions one intention at a time. Look for us on Blog Talk, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, and many more. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram under United Intentions and on Twitter at Higher Intention. Yes, this is the Good Intention Show, where you will meet people who live life intentionally and hear about things they're not telling you in the mainstream media. And now, here's the truth seeker, the snake charmer, a legend in his own mind, broadcasting live all over the universe, your host, Mr. Tim Ray.
You can still...
Oh, what a night.
What does that mean?
One of my favorite Frankie Valli songs. Oh, what a night. That's all that means. Yeah, we actually had our first taping of our not only B-roll, but also of our content for our new Awaken Atlanta morning show.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
How'd it go?
It was wonderful. I wasn't there, but I heard the new crew that we had, our new talent that's in-house. They did a wonderful job. Suchi, of course, is the executive producer, and she made sure that it was wonderful.
All right. Yeah, I heard. That was good, right, Suchi?
Yeah. Shannon and Michael, Michael Redman, new addition to the team. We're rocking and rolling over here. Oh, I'm on radio. Hello, WDJY listeners. Just kidding. I knew I was. We got some great stuff coming your way today. Amazing. I'm sitting here with the one and only, one of our regular guests, Dr. Samuel Makarski, and Dr. Sam, we call him. We're going to be talking about the Chi energy today. You heard of it, the Chi energy. A lot of different names, a lot of different understandings, a lot of different misunderstandings. But today we're going to narrow it down to what we believe to be true about Chi and how we can understand it and how we could probably play with the Chi energy. Playing, I think, is a great word for it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And also, we can hear some original music from Dr. Sam here. Guy's going Hollywood on us. I don't know. Give him a little bit of attention and bam, he's gone.
Yeah, right.
How's that work, right? Hello, WWNN listeners, 93.5. Welcome. We have another great show tonight. We have a bunch of people coming on, which I'm going to talk about. Ryan Long, founder of City Gala. Talk about going Hollywood. This cat, he hangs out with all of them. Matthew McConaughey hangs out with every one of them out there. Because you know why? He hangs out with ones who really donate to foundations.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention, guess who got picked as one of the foundations?
Yeah.
United Intention Foundation. Out of 10 foundations, out of hundreds, we were chosen to be one of the foundations working with Ryan Long and his team, getting us out there. It's just so much to it. And I'm going to have a show. We are going to have a show on it today at 6 p.m. at WNNN. Check it out. Also on WDJY too, 99.1. You're going to find it there as well. Of course, you find it everywhere on the internet. Spreaker, Facebook. Right now we're Facebook Live, YouTube, Patreon. Check out our Patreon page. We got it going on here.
Yeah,
Must be doing something right. Follow the light.
That's right.
Stay away from the darkness. Follow the light, and things will be rewarded to you.
Yes.
It's tenfold. Trust me, it's not easy. I like to play in the dark once in a while.
Yeah.
You know?
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Just making sure.
Just test the waters.
Just test the waters. But I will say, I do see the light is much more powerful than the dark. Without a doubt, in my mind. You want to call in? Talk to Dr. Sam and I later. Call 678-495-4345. Ask some questions. Get jiggy with it. Also, don't forget about getting your DVDs. Get Your Life Back Now. DVDs, go check it out. GetYourLifeBackNow.live. It's going into the store near you now. We're getting crazy with that. We're getting jiggy with that now. Our affiliate plan. You want to make money on it? Sign up for our affiliate plan for the DVDs. We have a 25-day special, a 25-day free views of these doctors that and experts that were sharing their secret sauce to dealing with chronic illnesses and what you can do about it. Talking about how, from detoxification, from nutrition, and what's the causes. Why is it happening? What's going on with this low-grade infection that we all are getting for some unknown reason? Could it be that maybe we have some foreign objects, foreign chemicals or foreign agents in our body causing these low-grade infections, causing inflammation of the body, causing stress and pressure on your immune system? Then hence comes the chronic illness, MS, cancer, ALS, diabetes, arthritis. Yes, it's an epidemic now. And yes, it's happening near you. And there's cures to this, or at least there's ways you could deal with this. I could say cures, but I don't want to say that because then people get, oh, there's a cure. You can't guarantee anything.
Right.
But there is ways to deal with these chronic illnesses that's healthy and has no side effects, at least not negative side effects, because positive side effects. So check it out. Go to getyourlifebacknow.live, getyourlifebacknow.live, and get your life back. Really. Lastly, visit our website, unitedintentions.org, and connect with like-minded souls out there who are really learning this kind of law of attraction, that we are all energy. We're made up of energy. Because we can't see it, feel it, smell it, or whatever, doesn't mean it's not there. Just like, you're hearing us through the radio waves right now. Am I in your room? Am I in your little head right now? Well, no, but the radio waves are putting me there. And same thing in life. There's energy. We rotate in a clockwise energetic way. The chi energy, which we're going to get into, and that's a nice segue too, right? So we're energetic beings. We're bio electrical, magnetic, energetic beings. That's what we are. Because we can't see it doesn't mean that we're not. But we are. Science shows us that. Just because our medical model in the West does not acknowledge it, we are. So that's something that we're shifting here through people like these doctors we mentioned, Dr. Tennant, Dr. Cowden, who are bringing this more than we're a chemical response, we're bioenergetic beings too as well, into our health practices is where we need to go. A lot of the rest of the world are already there, and they do it. They deal with this chi energy. They deal with this, our energetic beings and what we are, and I just can't emphasize it enough. So with that being said, let's get it with it. The chi energy, huh? There should be a chi energetic song. Can you do that, Wahid?
Like make one?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Channel it. Like get jiggy with it, get chi with it or something.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
All right. Well, I'm here again sitting with Dr. Sam. He's not only a DT. DT stands for what?
DPT, Doctor of Physical Therapy.
Yes, there you go. Not only that, but he's also known as the AKA the Health Raiser. In fact, his song he put out, which we're going to play on the first break here, is pretty amazing. I think this is going to go big. In fact, we got to really see what we want to do with this. What you want to do with it. Here I am, already taking it from him. He doesn't have it out. I'm already taking it from him. You're going places, kid. And he has cured his own health issues by going all natural, by looking at how the body really works from a bioenergetic perspective as well as the chemical. And he has done so much, and he's best way to reach you is at the DTSSamPT.com, right?
Yep. DRSAMPT.com, DrSamPT.com.
Gotcha. Well, with that being said, wow, the chi energy. I mean, everybody talks about it. You hear it even in movies, but no one really understands it, because there has to be, I just learned about scalar energy last year, and then AC, electrical energy, how scalar energy is the pure energy, and then you have this AC current, which is a derivative of this pure energy that can be broken down and has, time and space involved in it, or at least a linear, from a distance it can be measured. Scalar energy is instantaneous. So you got all these different types of potential energies that we have describing, but is chi energy just another name for scalar energy, or is chi energy different? I mean, is it the soul energy? I'm just really overwhelmed, and even though most people don't even talk about this topic, and we are today, so that's why we're so glad you're listening in, but Dr. Sam's going to explain everything, the understanding of life today as we know it. So, go ahead. That was a small little thing to do. What do you got? What do you got, Doc?
Well, to keep it simple, the chi energy is the animating life force that exists in the universe. So some people would say that everything has energy to it, even this table right here. But I would say the biggest difference between something that's inanimate and animate is the chi that exists within it. So everything's vibrating at a certain frequency, but for sure when chi flows through an object, there's an animating life force. And the more in tune you get with it, the more that you can actually feel it. So for example, if you go and touch a tree, which I tend to do often, tree hugger, tree toucher.
It sounds almost abusive. I don't know how you're going to have to explain that one a little bit more.
Well,
trees have rights too, by the way.
Yeah, I said, well, I touch it. I don't hit it or yell at it. But I have been caught, and you get some funny looks. Sometimes I don't even turn around. I'm like, just keep walking. And other times I just, whatever. I just say, yeah, you haven't seen a tree hugger before. But you can actually feel the energy that moves through things. And after being a body worker now for 20 years, it's really easy for me to tune into something. And when I touch, especially biological systems, you can actually feel the flow through things to the point where you can pick up a lot of information quickly. Seems very woo-woo, but it really isn't. And chi is real. And some of the ways that people actually measure chi in terms of heat, light, sound, electric, magnetic, and I would even put mechanical in there. These are all forms of ways to actually prove chi exists. There is certain equipment, so to speak, scientific equipment that can measure very subtle energies, and it's proven that the same energy that comes off of even a chi master's hands can be measured and vibrates at a certain rate. So it's definitely a real thing. It's just in the West, it's foreign. In the East, it's accepted as an absolute truism.
Well, just like you're saying, there's chi energy in this table. This is inorganic matter from our periodic table, right? In chemistry. How can this have energy? How can this have life in this table?
Yeah, well, there's energy probably flowing through it, but I would say mostly when you're really truly feeling chi energy, it's probably going to be more animated life force that you feel in biological systems versus something like the table that isn't. But some people might argue there's still chi in this, and I could say, yeah, to a degree there is, but I think it's more relevant in things that are
more organic.
Yeah, in systems that are more alive and biological systems that actually have an animated life force. All right, so if I pull the chi out of something, for example, and it was a person, I mean, you pull enough chi out of a person, there's no more animated life force.
I know a few of those energetic vampires. That's what I'm getting my chi drained? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's right. We call those chi zappers. And there's a lot of them in the world.
I don't think he's kidding. I think he's serious.
Yeah, no, they will zap your chi. And, yep, you have to be very mindful. And that's one of the practices when you practice Qigong is to strengthen your field so that people don't do that to you, because they will. They're lacking in their own, so they're trying to suck the energy right out of you.
Wow, it's amazing. And so how would you distinguish between chi energy and soul energy?
Well, I mean, some people would say they could be one and the same, but I think that chi energy definitely is this permeable energy that permeates not only this universe, but galaxies and other universes. And I think our soul is connected to that. And that's why soul on a level of energetics is not just here in the present time, but it is beyond space time, and so is chi for that matter.
So, and I'm not sure if you're much familiar with scalar energy, but it potentially could be another name for scalar energy. Chi energy could be potentially. If it's scalar energy, there's no point A or B. It's point A everywhere. I mean, it's just pure. It's energy from the sun. It cannot be. It has no entropy to it. It cannot be broken down, or at least on that. And then so any other energy, it has a limited limit to it. It's more finite. But so I don't know, it could be, but this chi energy though, we all have it, but most of us are not even aware of it. We don't know how to experience it. And when we get back from break here, let's talk about how we can actually experience our own chi, and then how our own chi interacts with other people's chi.
Absolutely.
Over a cup of tea, we could talk about this, huh? The chi experience. Yeah. And here's the Health Razor right here. I don't even want to go to commercial. I just want to hear your song, man.
Couple weeks, we'll launch it officially.
Hey, you're launching it right here on United Intentions Network, baby.
Got it.
Dr. Sam Karski, the one and only. We're getting all chi with you today.
All right.
Getting chi and jiggy with it. We'll be right back. We'll see you in a sec.
Because when vibrant health flows, it leads to an open heart. And then here's how our story goes.
Gonna be a health raiser is what I choose to do with my time. Got a sacred download from the divine. When we rise up.
Are you ready to be the hero of your own story? It's time to put the power of your health back into your hands. Join us for our free 25-day journey to get your life back now from chronic illness. Our doctors and experts will guide you back to optimal health.
If it's true that the microbiome and the loss of it leads to cancer death, what has changed this? The answer is this single molecule. This molecule is glyphosate. This is the active ingredient in a weed killer that you've perhaps heard of called Roundup. It's made by a company called Monsanto. Monsanto patented this chemical that was actually made in 1959 by a Japanese researcher, and he said, oh my gosh, this is a horrible toxin, this should never go into use, so he put it on the shelf, but he patented it. And Monsanto found that patent in 1974, and they bought that patent, then turned it into the first consumer product that would be called Roundup, the most ubiquitous toxin on the planet. But this chemical has never been patented as a weed killer. This chemical was patented as an antibiotic.
Go to www.getyourlifebacknow.live and begin your journey today.
All right. Yeah. I think even you, Doc, you kind of jump in there a little bit with a few words.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to catch that maybe on the... Oh, there he is. There you are.
World. This is how we honor Mother Earth, the ultimate girl.
Oh, boy, if we only had more time. But little teaser for you coming out live on the UI Radio Network. Dr. Sam Makarsky, the Health Raiser song. And he is the Health Raiser. He's known as the Health Raiser. And I love that name. And you even have it secured, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can take that away from you. The only Health Raiser out there, legally.
Yeah, I love that though, man. That's a great.
I know, right?
raiser.
So we're here talking about chi and chi energy. We left off right before break. How do we recognize our own chi? Okay, if this energy exists, and I'll play the person who doesn't, believe. This is poppycock. This is, there's no energy. I've only got my 5 senses. I can't see it, smell it, touch it. It's not real, right? But going multi-dimensional, going multi-energetic, right? Here, let's assume it's real. Chi energy is real. If I'm a non-believer, is my intention not going to let me experience the chi?
Potentially. I mean, chi is one of those forces that's going to permeate whether you believe it or not. But one of the aspects of Qigong is intention. That's one of the 3 actually in adjustments or regulations. So Qigong, the word literally means energy practice or energy cultivation practice. A gong is a practice. So if somebody does a 30-day gong, they're committed to practicing something for 30 days. So for example, in Qigong, you could be holding an empty ball pose. And some people will practice this pose for 30 days where they might add a minute each day. So by day 30, you're sitting there in one pose for 30 minutes straight. And the reality of that is if you're doing it correctly, you never get tired. You actually feel the chi building and you keep re-regulating your posture or readjusting it, so to speak. And the chi just keeps building. And by the end of 30 minutes, you're energized. You're not tired. It's pretty amazing.
It seems so like an oxymoron there. So the more you use energy to stay in one position, the more energy you're going to have.
Correct, because the reality of what you're doing in that position is you are attuning with the chi flow and you're learning how to allow it to flow through your body. There's really 2 states, flow and stagnation. And when there's stagnation, that's where disease starts to thrive, and it likes that. And as I like to say, where chi flows, disease don't grow. So it's really that simple. Energetic systems have to have flow to them. When they have flow and resonance and coherence and vibration, they're healthy. And when they have stagnation, there's dissonance, and then there's disease and dysfunction. So back to your question, there are a few drills even you can do with people. And one of the things is to just even have people rub their hands together like this, or the other way is their fingernails. So you literally do this. You start to rub your fingernails together back and forth very vigorously. And then you can bring your hands apart and then slowly start to bring them back together.
Oh, yeah, my guy, I think I feel something.
Yeah. And a lot of people will just start to feel this.
See, my first doubter says, well, it's just the air pressure changing.
Right. And there could be a change in pressure there, but the reason that works so well with the fingernails too and the fingertips is there's a lot of potent chi points at the end of the fingertips. They're called Jing points, and when you start to open those up, energy starts to flow through, and you feel the magnetism, or again the heat, the electric, the magnetic. You're not really going to feel sound, but you could in terms of vibration, and then. Until you get to the master level, you're not going to really see light or anything. But
so people you say people who practice on a more regular basis with pure intent, they could actually see the chi force.
Some people may be able to. That's definitely an advanced level. It's just like some people see energy fields. They see auras and stuff. Right. So you start to just see, and that would be an example. You're seeing energy around somebody, but it's more important, I think, with Qigong and Qi Flow. It's an internal art. So the most important things are happening on the inside. So the direction of your intention has to be in. And one of the things in Qigong is the way in is the way out. Think about that one for a while. The way in is the way out. And that's really true. And that's part of certain postures and certain things that's the point, is stop projecting all your intention and attention out here, because that's not where the answers are. That age-old wisdom of the ages and the sages, the answers are within. They are. So the only way to get there is to go within. And that's part of the beauty of Qigong, is it takes you into this internal state where you start to attune to energies, but you're also very aware of your environment at the same time. If you're truly doing it correctly, not only am I aware of my body, I'm aware of this whole room and everything that's around me, to the point where that's like almost a scene out of one of those movies where you see a master sitting in there and then they're just like, poof, and they grab like the dagger that's like thrown to them, because they're that aware of like everything in their environment. That's not going to happen overnight, but
for that reason alone, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I know.
To catch the bullet.
Yeah. Are you aware of all the EMFs in this room?
Yeah, well, when I was in your studio, remember when I was in your studio? I am very aware. Actually, when I was in Wahid's studio recording the song, or the parts of the song anyway, I remember I made that comment to you. I took a step in toward some of his equipment in the desk to get closer to put the headphones on. And I was like, whoa. And he goes, what's the matter? And I was like, wow, this is stronger. I just need to move the chair about 2 feet to the left. He's like, yeah, do what you need to do, man. But yeah, I could feel all that, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you work in here? He's like, yeah, it's a challenge.
Our intention, we just ignore it like it's not happening. It's called denial-based positive thinking. Come on, get on board. So,
something to be said for that.
Well, what's this Qi Gong, and Gong being a practice, and it's not the same thing as Gong, like a Gong thing, right? It's different, right?
Right.
All right. That's just my ignorance. Sorry about that. And
but that's vibration too.
It's vibration, right? Well, everything's vibration. So you could actually learn to play by going inside and tap into your own chi energy, this own energetic life force energy. I'm trying to put it in pragmatic terms. So if chi didn't exist, would we just drop dead? Is it our animation?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just like our energy we play in this world, in this three-dimensional matrix, if you like, world. Chi energy is the life force.
That's right. The life animating force. Right. If Chi didn't exist, we'd all probably go bye-bye real quick. Bye-bye. Everybody wave goodbye. There we go.
Then I'd start holding on to those trees. So we can actually experience this ourselves by doing a few practices, which we'll talk more of here in a second. But to focus our intention inward, it seems like these days we're so overwhelmed with attention deficit. Of course, the nano-sized metals in the air from chemtrails, thank you, coming down, breaking our brain barrier and getting in there in our body, and the overwhelming of the media, the negativity, the distractions everywhere. It seems almost overwhelming. Like you said, the way out is to go within, right? To focus on that. So you really have to have quiet time. I mean, how do you practice this?
Absolutely. And when you were just talking, I got to download it. It'd be great for your organization. The IDD, Intention Deficit Disorder. I think that's just as big as ADD in today's world, right? Yeah. Not only are we lacking attention, but intentions.
Can you write that down? Somebody?
Yeah, write that down. Coin that.
Yeah, coin that.
So
we'll give them royalties later.
Yeah. So
after he's famous for the Health Razor song.
Exactly.
So
You don't need this.
Otherwise, right now we could take advantage of it, you know.
So yeah, you need
Always works, right? Everybody
right.
wants to give you everything for free and all the stuff after you don't need it.
I know.
Hey, you never know where it'll lead. But yeah, you need quiet time, and it's interesting with qigong. There's dong gong and jin gong. Okay, so I'll define those. Dong gong is the active form, which would be more what people were used to seeing, like the flow, and the jin gong is the quiet or quiescent form. So that's more like the meditative. They're both an aspect of qigong, just like they are in yoga, actually, and it's important to do both. But there's no doubt, even if you did the movement kind and you are doing it correctly, it is a movement meditation. So people that tell me, oh, I can't meditate, Dr. Sam, I'm like, well, don't be so sure about that. You just can't sit still quietly. Let me have you do this instead. And so I take them through some movements and everything. And the first time in their life, they're actually meditating because their intention is so focused on their alignment and posture and their breath that their mind isn't wandering. So the monkey mind has to be calmed down, but you don't always have to be quiet to do that. You can be moving and still have that occur.
Can you give me, I don't know if you can or not, but sitting here, can you do something very simple for us to kind of at least get a feel what it looks like?
For the qigong?
Yeah, for the qigong, yeah.
Yeah, and a sitting...
And describe it so the radio listeners could understand it too, not just the TV.
Yeah, well, there are various forms of, doing qigong exercises. So, for example, let me give you something I call cluster busters. Okay, so I'll define that. When I was,
this is how much thought he puts into these. He has his own terminology for practice that's been around for thousands of years, right?
And my qigong teachers are always like, their eyes kept lighting up. They're like, oh my God, I gotta write that one down. I gotta use that. And I was like, yeah, I didn't give me credit for that one. They said, no, that's yours. I just want to write it down. And I had another thing too that I will share with you right now so I don't forget, because this is a gem that came to me in a download as I was practicing one day. You are cultivating your inner chi flow or your energy flow. You get it? Your energy flow or your inner chi flow.
Inner chi
flow. They become
Gotcha.
one and the same because inner chi flow is going to be energy flow. So with cluster busters, the whole goal of those is to clear, because there's a lot of things you do with chi. You can direct it. You can conserve it. You can, break it up, so to speak, because if it's stagnant, you want it moving. So one example of a qigong exercise is simple, and some people do this instinctively. I had a friend recently who's absolutely adorable. She said, that was weird. Sometimes I feel like an addict. And she said, I find myself doing this. And, she's tapping her arm almost like, people do before they shoot up. And I started laughing. I said, that's actually a qigong exercise.
Really?
She said, really? And I said, yeah. Usually use a cupped hand, but you do things called tapping where you actually tap.
EFT.
Yeah, I guess you could say that it's similar to that because the EFT does tap on meridian points, whether people realize that or not. But there's a certain way to do that where you can actually tap over organs, or you can actually go down, let's say, the front of your arm and up the back side of your arm, and then open your arm up like this, and then switch across to this side and go down and up. And you're actually moving energy through the meridians that are in your arms and through the lungs at that point. And you can add sounds to the things where if it was a it's actually a sound of the lungs to move energy through there. So that'd be one simple example of a qigong exercise. Absolutely. No, there's no doubt that noise is one way to move qi, and the almighty Om or Amen or Om or ominous is all one and the same. And yeah, that is the seed sound of creation. Vital sound. That's why it's so powerful when you chant it or you tone it. Absolutely.
So you could activate the chi energy not only through physical touch, but also through sound.
Yes.
And also, can attention alone activate it?
Intention alone can activate it. Because if you sit in quiet meditation and you have a focused intention, and this is something that I've been able to recently cultivate more so than ever. It just was another awakening on another level I must have gotten to, because I know that it's possible to direct chi with intention. But recently, in the last month or two, I'm able to do it really, really well. It's almost like, whoa, where you can just move it with your mind, so to speak. Absolutely. And the breath is a powerful tool as well to get that to happen. So the 3 regulations in qigong are posture, breath, and intention. If you want to make it simple, how do I remember that? PBI, it's like, okay, the ABC approach, alignment, breathing, consciousness. That's what I came up with, which is a kind of a Western version of that, posture, breath, and intention, alignment, breath, and consciousness, the ABC approach. ABC for better chi.
I'm telling you, man, this guy is a master marketer, and I mean, come on. I mean, but he does it because he breaks it out to make it simple, and this is why he's such a great teacher.
Yes.
And well, doctor means teacher, right? He is a great teacher, and that's why people all over the world come see him and experience with Dr. Sam. Because I'm sure you do a lot of things online too, as well. Right?
Yeah, I do. And I would say I grew up with Dr. Seuss. And Dr. Seuss rhymed a lot, and I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be a doctor. So that's probably why I teach that way. Seriously. Sam, I am. But I am vegan, so no, I don't eat green eggs and ham.
I'm saying it's so well thought through. We're talking to Dr. Sam Lekarski. What's the best way to reach you?
DrSamPT.com. That's DrSamPT.com.
All right, we'll be right back, and we're going to be getting jiggy with Chi Energy here. Yeah. I promise you. We're going to do some Chi positions, or Qigong positions, I should say. And we got callers coming in, too, already. All right, so when we get back from break, we'll take a call. We'll see you guys in 1 minute. Not even.
All the bad programming out our head, because now we're truly awake and no more walking around in a coma like the living dead. This vibration of love is a spiritual thread that ties us all together and get us all ahead. So it's important to raise our help, take charge, which is the true definition of living love.
Hello, my name's Tim Ray, founder of the United Intentions Foundation, where we have a forum for people like you who are committed to changing our world for the better. That's why you're here, right? Well, we need volunteers who see themselves as seeds of positive change, to raise those around you to a joyful mindset. Here's a place where you can use your skills to be the change you want to see in the world. In addition, what's great at the United Intentions Foundation is you have the ability to develop skills and gain internship hours and volunteer on several committees and projects such as video editing, marketing, and much, much more. So get started and click that I Want to Volunteer link and start your journey as the newest member of this movement that's changing this world with the power of your intentions. Let's just play the song, man. Forget the Qigong today. All right,
it's coming. Well, this song, I mean, when we created it and I went to Wahid and I said, this is what I want the song to do. One of the intentions, remember, Wahid in the studio was this has to move people energetically at a heart level. It's got to make them get up, want to dance and move and raise health, raise their love. And man, he delivered.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but you guys, it's all that synergy together, and that's what life's about, is synergizing with each other,
Absolutely. Verdi Music Group.
Hey, Verdi Music Group.
He's the man.
He's the man. We got a lot of powerful people here in Roswell.
For real.
Yeah, I know. I know. This is a epicenter of brilliance. So we got a call coming in. A caller, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, hi. How are you? What's your name?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. What's your name?
This is Susan.
Hey, Susan! Hey! Oh my God! Susan,
I was wondering if you were going to guess.
I had no. You're a little scratchy, but I think that's maybe.
It's breaking up.
Oh, I hear you fine though. You're doing great, Susan McDowell. She's one of our.
My phone's breaking up. Let me see if I go out on my porch if it would be better.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But just while she's getting her phone set up, Susan McDowell is one of our regular bases. It's almost like Sam and Susan should get married or something. It's like it's like I don't know. I don't know how it works, but they both have.
It's totally breaking up.
Okay, well, go somewhere. You're not. You sound good. All right.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is, how about I just ask the question if you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
And then I'll just watch the answer on the show.
All right, there you go.
I can't hear you very
All right,
well.
that's fine. Ask your question.
Okay, I'll just start because I can't hear you. Sam, I was wondering, I do energy work as well, and I've learned that the highest energy dominates, which would be if you're in alignment with your chi, which I also consider the love source energy. So I was wondering, with your practice, what is your practice for keeping your energy high on a regular basis?
Great question, Susan. And I know you got to hang up because you can't hear us. So thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, I can kind of hear every other word.
All right.
I look forward. I've been listening to the show, and I will listen to the rest of it.
All right.
So thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Susan. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
So you got the question?
I do.
Repeat it one more time. So
yeah, the question is, what was my personal practice to keep my energy as high as possible? That's what I heard her say.
Yeah.
And,
and certain dominant energies, ones that are dominant more than others.
Yeah, so one of the key things, and we've talked about this on a few other shows, and it's worth repeating, there's a signature system of health that I personally teach, and all my clients and I personally follow, and it's called the Chain of Health System. So within that system, there's 8 essential links: food, air, water, light, rest, activity, hygiene, and love. And those things are essential. They're not optional. They're essential needs of health and of life. Every living species on this planet needs those things to thrive. We're the only species that tries to get away with it, so without doing that. So I always tell people the Chain of Health System is not optional. It's essential. However, following it is optional. We have free will. And so that can get us in a little bit of trouble, of course, because we could say, well, I don't need to do this because, I do this instead, and that's going to make up for it. But it really doesn't. So I really try to live that system each day. And to give you an example, like living in cycles with the sun, very important, very, very important thing to keep the circadian rhythms very normalized. So trying to wind down with the sun. So sitting outside as the sun's dropping and sitting outside. And as your body continues to wind down and you go in the house, you just go to sleep, or you stay really chill. You don't flip every light back on in the house and all of a sudden get stimulated again. Because that's the point. People say, oh, I'm a night owl. And it's like, no, you're not. Because if you were, you'd have night vision, just like night owls do. All right? It's a learned behavior.
He brings you right back to reality.
A learned behavior. And I'm not saying people can't do it and be productive. I'm saying it's going to jeopardize your health at a certain point. So if you really want to tune in and be aligned with this, so to speak, in the highest energies, I think it's a full-on commitment. So that's one of the things. Simply breathing. And we did 2 or 3 shows on this.
Yeah.
And
the Matrix series on breathing.
And it's part of Qigong as well. That's the beauty of it. But breath work is so vitally important. And you think about the fact that you can live days and weeks without food and water and only minutes without air. And then the air literally defines our life. Like from the first breath we take to the last one we take, that you breathe 10 to 20,000 times a day. This is like one of the best ROIs you're ever going to get on your health. Return on investment is to learn to breathe very consciously and very often, very consciously. So people assume, hey, I'm alive, I must be doing it correctly. And all it means is you're breathing enough to stay alive, but are you breathing well enough to thrive? And there's a big difference there. So that's another practice. I meditate every day. I do Qigong every day and absolutely attest to it and swear by it that it is a very powerful practice, and that people, if they adopt and they do it consistently, it'll change their life. I'm actually teaching a class tonight here in Roswell.
Literally. And where are you teaching that?
That's at Live Your Yoga. So it's LIVEUR Yoga. And if anyone's interested, please, you can drop in. There is a cost on it, but you can drop in and take the classes from 6:30 to 8 p.m. tonight. More details, drsampt.com. So it's drsampt.com/Qigong. That'll take you to a page that has more info on it. Or you can contact Live Your Yoga in Roswell and actually just register directly through them, or pay when you get there tonight.
Wonderful.
I'd love to see you there.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. You actually put into practice what you're talking about. You walk and you talk.
Yeah, you have to, and if you want to have that level of energy, that's really what it takes. And so the other work is vibrational tonal work. There's no doubt that adjusting your frequency every day is vitally important. So some people say toning the chakras, or I don't care what you call it. You can call it Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, as long as you do it. It's really about doing it. But it's vitally important that you adjust your frequency every day, and sometimes a couple times a day. There are a few times a day I might be in meditation, or a few times a day I'm doing toning work. And that's what it takes. And people, sometimes it's funny. They say, oh, God, I don't have time for that. I'm like, well, then you're going to have time to suffer. I mean, it's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. You either have to invest the time in your wellness, or you're going to end up, in a sense, financing your sickness, or investing all this time and not feeling well. And these things are free. And that's the biggest thing. And that's one of the things about Qi. It's free. Here's the cool part about Qi. 1, it's free. 2, it will benefit anyone that wants to cultivate a loving relationship with it. If you make a commitment to trying to harness Qi and play with it and all that, it will love you back. I promise you that. And it's easy if you want it to be. Those are the 3 promises of Qi that are amazing. And people want affordable health care? It's affordable.
Yeah, it's right there. Just sign up for your Chi insurance plan, Major Medical. So this Chi energy, is it consciousness? Is it alive? I mean, is it truly its own consciousness?
I personally believe it is, and that the one part that's really interesting about the East versus the West. The East has revered this concept, of Chi for millennia, and the difference, I guess, with them in the West is they don't ever have the need to try to scientifically prove or figure something out. Okay, where the West does, and that's the difference. Like there's some mystery to Chi, and they like it that way. Right. See, in the West, that makes us uncomfortable. But it's like, you know what? That's part of Chi. Is that there's this mystery about it. That's what makes it magical. But that's the magic of life too, right? There's a mystery about life.
Yeah, get married and try to figure out everything about your wife or spouse or your husband, and you'll figure that out very quickly. You want the mystery of life.
That's right.
You don't want to know everything. Shut the bathroom door.
Yeah, what do you do?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know everything. But listen, I get it, and I think that's a great point. And it seems like in our Western five sensory, we got to validate through our five senses. If it's not in our five senses, then it doesn't exist. Type of mentality. Using the scientific method, which is so limited because it only uses the five senses, and so we're going to miss the whole Chi experience if we keep ourselves in that mindset.
Yeah, there's a great saying in Qigong: worry is the enemy of Qigong. And so there you go. A worried mind is what? One that just the mind that races, that's not present, that's and that's one of the fastest ways to scatter Chi. Is like if you're worried or you're distracted, the Chi just goes, see you later. Like, I don't want to play with you anymore. It's this loving relationship you have to have.
Wow.
So yeah,
it truly is an epidemic that you just said, because I mean, the United States for alone is, I mean, you just turn on the media, you turn on anything. Either you're worried or you're being distracted about something outside of yourself. So either you're worrying about something inside of yourself, or you're distracted on outside of yourself. So it's amazing. It is. So it's subtle, isn't it? It probably is scalar energy. I don't understand, because it's its own consciousness, possibly, and it's there for us all the time because it's in everything. And if we could just allow ourselves to slow down, still ourselves, and put ourselves in a opening, welcoming type of perspective, then we could actually experience this Chi energy. And what does it feel like when you're experiencing? How do you know because we may be in and out of Chi, not even realize it sometimes, right?
Yeah, so there's different ways you might pick up on it. You might feel subtle vibration or a warmth, or you might feel euphoria, even as Chi is flowing. And some people feel vibrant, like twang, especially if they're receiving the medical type of Qigong, where there's a laying on of hands. But a lot of times there's a euphoria. Like when people do Qigong, if they take the classes with me, when we get done, they have this look on their face, and I was like, anything you want to share? Like, I'm buzzing, like I'm vibrating. Yeah, that's Chi flow. There's a vibrance to it, almost like a humming almost.
So I don't say this jokingly, but I mean, is Chi involved in orgasms?
Oh, definitely. The energy, the energy of the lower chakras, if you want to call that, or lower dantian, the sexual energy is very much so involved with Chi flow. And there's something to be said for that, because when you start getting into this topic, it's really interesting. There's an important concepts in Qigong, and to not actually dissipate, or I don't want to say waste, but I mean expend too much of your vital life energy. There's concepts also called Jing, which is your life energy, or you're kind of given to you by your parents when you were born, but you can deplete that, and sex can deplete that, but it doesn't have to. So it's a vitally important thing. So yes, Chi is very, very involved with sex and sexual energy. You need to be very careful, as you start to study this stuff, you start to realize.
I'm sorry, honey, I didn't mean to, You'll come back down to earth in a second. I mean, we'd be careful in what way?
Well, you be careful.
I was just thinking why he was thinking. That's all.
I was thinking about Susan.
She has great orgasmic Chi stories, doesn't she?
Yeah. It's a very powerful energy, and you start to see the power in it. And it's one thing. Like, here's a concept that's foreign to guys. Like, guys could actually have an orgasm and not ejaculate. So most guys don't realize that.
That seems cruel. I mean,
well, so here's the difference. Like an orgasm is a physical, it's a cerebral event. So it's at this level where ejaculation is a physical event. See, most guys equate it as the same, so they don't realize that that's even possible, that they could be involved in a sexual encounter, whether they're by themselves or with a partner, and all of a sudden be like, whoa, they could actually even be multi-orgasmic. That was always like, yeah, like I thought only women can do that. No, guys can not only do that, but they can learn how to and still actually retain the physical essence of their semen and everything and never actually let go of it and hit this total euphoric state. And now when sex is carried out that way, this is like very powerful because women are
not as messy, I guess.
Well, right, but women are also satisfied because it's like there's this need to again want to fill up, where guys do want to release and let go, but you can learn to let go energetically and not necessarily physically. And I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do. That's why that's why it's called masturbation.
Masturbation.
You have to master.
You got to master.
But there's something to be said for that.
Well, we have so many people who talk. Michael Monk talks about this, about, when you, and that's what it is. He's tapping into the chi energy when you're in that sexual act and you truly have that. I didn't really understand it, but I get it now, that the orgasm really is a cerebral experience.
Absolutely.
And so a guy to be able to figure that out, wow, good luck. That's a story. That's a whole show in itself. Honestly, if you think about it.
Yeah, there's books on that.
Yeah, there's books on that.
Is.
Yeah. There's probably videos too, I'm sure. So, okay, so this chi energy isn't everything, and it's very subtle, and it's very, we're gonna take a break. Sorry. It's very subtle. It's very, it's light, but it's very loving. And so when we get back from break, let's talk about how we can tap into this or allow it, because it has to be an allowance, I assume.
Yes.
You can't control, you can't force it.
That's correct.
It has its own way of coaxing it. Let's see how we could coax chi into our lives on a daily basis, and maybe some moves you could do and show us, and describe a little bit of what we could be feeling on a very light beginner's level.
Sure.
And then we'll see if we get as many people chi-ing as possible out there. Get your chi on, all right? We're talking to Dr. Sam Makarsky, Health Razor. Be right back.
We need more than just one, spreading love and shining brighter than the sun. So there's only one thing left to say. You're gonna rise up with me and be a health raiser today? Namaste.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of your children having fun, playing outdoors, and learning to become tomorrow's leaders. This is the sound of the Imagine If Summer Camp, brought to you by the Imagine If program at the United Intentions Foundation. Here, your child will develop leadership skills, increase their emotional intelligence, and use our specialized social-emotional learning education program that teaches children to become more aware of who they are and become mindful of their surroundings. Our camps start June 18th and run through June 22nd at Unity North Atlanta in Marietta from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Our second camp starts June 25th and runs through June 29th at Uman Church in Roswell, Georgia from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. To register, visit www.imagineifprogram.org/camps and learn everything you need to know about our exciting SEL summer camps. This is your invitation to have fun and see your child become everything they've always wanted to be.
It does. My chi is activated right now. It's got to be because I'm raising. I really feel this how power of the song.
It does. Even one of the lyrics, we talk about that, right?
Wow. Amazing.
To raise the level of my chi.
Amazing. Amazing. We're here with Dr. Sam Makarsky. And hear him talking. I want to shut up and listen. Woo! You got it. Love it. Catch him at drsampt.com and go to the Chi Gong today at 6 o'clock. When is
6:30.
it? 6:30.
Live your yoga.
Live your yoga. Right around. Where is it near Roswell?
Roswell,
Georgia.
Roswell, Georgia. Past down Cannon Street and past the square.
Okay.
There used to be a juice boutique in there. Raw Juice Boutique. It's like right next to there, and there was a yoga studio there before. I forget the name of it. It's that the new owners took over.
Well, you want to give a shout out to Live Yoga? Yeah,
Live Your Yoga. Big shout out to them, and I'm blessed. And thank you so much for having me tonight. In the next 4 weeks, it's a 4-week series, so we'll go this Friday, next Friday. Take the 6th off because it's near the 4th, and I know people have plans, but I'll be here on that day, launching the song and the video. And then the next 2 weeks after that, so 6:30 to 8 p.m. on those Fridays.
And did you cut me out, or am I still going to be in the video?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, man.
No, you should be.
I got cut out, man. I know I did.
I doubt it.
It's like get that man out of there.
No. I'll have to make sure if Nina did that, I'll say, hey, you got to put that guy back in.
No, you're not. Honestly, I don't really care. Just long.
You better be in it, man.
Just long Wahid's in it. That's all that matters to me.
Fellow health raiser, brother Leo, you need to be in it.
Brother Leo, absolutely.
Leo stick together.
I do some raising, health, I guess, but yeah, there's some other raisings too. So, but we're here. We're talking about chi energy, and we left off on this last 10 minutes we got left here. We want to get into some examples, and then for a beginner to start getting in touch and allowing the chi energy to appear in their life, or at least to show up, and then learn how to play with it. And playing it's a playful energy, isn't it?
It is a playground, and I wonder if people like Tesla and those great minds and Einstein I think they did play with it a lot, and I think they realized the power of the mystery of some of this stuff, so to speak. I think it was maybe one or the other's quote, but he said spooky happenings at a distance, meaning they couldn't totally figure out why these phenomena were occurring, but they knew there was some force driving it, and that's probably what it is this cosmic consciousness.
Now, would chi show up, like, say you have some of these psychopaths, would chi show up because they're not worried, they think what they're doing is great, right? Would chi show up for them too? I mean, does she have discriminate at all? If you're not worrying and you're in a state of allowing, but you're using it for, let's say, harmful, negative things. I mean, is this where some of the magicians, some of these dark forces use this chi energy? Is it that neutral?
It's neutral, but at the same time, their energy is going to have what we call like chi deviation. So energy that's flowing in balance and harmony through the body, because if it was and everybody was lined up correctly in terms of the let's say, something we didn't talk about or mention now, there's these energy centers in the body that are called dantians, which basically mean elixir fields. So there's an upper dantian that has to do with the heavens or the head or consciousness. There's a lower dantian that has to do with the earth and the actual physical body. And quote, there's the one in the middle, which is the one aligned with the heart and the lungs, which is chi, right? So even metaphorically, between heaven and earth is man. Okay, so you start to see the power of this. So when the dantians and there's energy cultivated and are flowing through them, and those three centers are in alignment, and the chi is flowing and balanced, you wouldn't have a warped mind. You wouldn't be a psychopath or a sociopath because the chi is flowing correctly. And right. So the power of the balance is there. So in the heavens, as we say, that from the heavens we get this yang energy, this flowing, vibrant energy, and from the earth we drink from the earth this yin energy through our feet, and right in the middle is again man. So between heaven and earth is man. When yin and yang balance, they form that Tai Chi symbol, that little tadpole black and white thing. Yeah, that is the symbol of harmony.
Remarkable, and it makes so much sense to me, because even with scalar energy, as I discovered talking to people about that, is that you can't have the full experience of scalar energy, which is probably chi energy, unless you are coming from a loving perspective. And you could play, like you said, a lower vibration of it, and you could use it for whatever, but you're never going to get the full experience of it unless it comes from a loving perspective, which, like you're saying, things have to line up.
Absolutely.
It's a built-in security safety valve. That only way to really use this type of power is through love.
Absolutely, through love and balance and harmony. Which when chi was created, it's like, again, it has its own intelligence. Life, it knows that. That's why it will only flow so much based on what's going on inside a system, right? Because it knows if it just was like no holds bar, it would be a very dangerous thing, right? Yeah. People might even, who knows, implode or explode or,
you want some chi, baby? Here you go, right?
Yeah.
So this is incredible energy that you're dealing with. And so give me some example of what somebody could do at home, just a couple of moves maybe, and then And of course, you want to do the 3 pillars. You said breathing, right? Posture.
Yeah, posture, breath, and intention. I mean, that alone is huge.
Okay.
That people, just start to align with those things. So what I always tell people is, if you feel off, your mind's racing, or you're worried about something, just ask yourself the question right there: where's my posture, breathing, and intention right now, in this very moment?
Well, do it.
Okay,
and talk us through it.
Yeah. So, for example, like if somebody is in a sitting position, since we're sitting, if someone's in a sitting position and their posture is slumped forward, or it's really tight and restricted, everything, there's no way that chi can flow through there. So in a sitting position, you may want to, again, just start to draw yourself up, your head toward the heavens and your tailbone toward the earth, and get long through your spine. Okay, so that now the energy is starting to flow through you. So there's posture. Where's my breathing right now?
I'm holding it.
Right, which a lot of people do. They're what we call no-hailers. They're not inhaling or exhaling. They're no-hailing. So you're not breathing at all. And you want to make sure that the breath is, again, flowing through you. And that's that mantra I mentioned on another show. How you breathe is how you live. You cannot have a worried mind or be pissed off, angry, upset if you're breathing correctly. They don't go hand in hand. And then your intention. Where's my thoughts right now? Where's my focused intention? So am I present? Am I in a loving space? Am I listening with my heart? Or am I just in my head waiting to talk? And I got something to say to this guy, and I'm not even hearing that person on a heart level. So posture, breath, and intention, that alone, if people took nothing from this call but started to even consider those things, I can't stress how important that is. Because if you think you're doing Qigong, but posture, breath, and intention are not right, you're not. As my teachers used to say, you're doing something, you're just not doing Qigong. So you could call it exercise, you call it whatever the hell you want, but it's not Qigong. And Qigong, interesting enough, it's inner size. Okay, I wish I could coin that term, but it's not mine. But I know someone else that tried to, but it's not his either. So, but inner size is very important. So it's moving within, and it's important. And that's the other thing with the Tai Chi symbol, right? Exercise, like Americans have that kind of figured out. Go to the gym, do some cardio. That's important, but so is inner size, and you learn to balance the two. Because you do want both, right? If you're too yin, you're like, oh, everything's fine. It's not good. And if you're too young, you're like, oh, and that's not good either. You need the balance of both. That's why I think it's important to do exercise and exercise. And I do both of those daily.
Wow. And again, it's just because things are invisible and thoughts are invisible, supposedly, but they do have actual physical properties, believe it or not, and feelings. However, because you see it like I can see this telephone or these microphones or, these folks over here, we don't give it credibility or validity in our daily life. So this inner size is a little more challenging because, unless you could imagine an inner treadmill, right? or weights. But so what would it look like inner sizing just by being still and having this presence of energy, right?
Yeah. When you start to go within, you are still, but there's a lot of things going on and a lot of things happening. And the more you attune to that, the more magical it becomes. So even though you're still, you're not. And that's just something that it has to be something that's experienced. It is hard to put in words because just like breath work, I could tell someone, you can read 100 books on breathing, or you can start practicing for like 5 minutes a day. And I'm telling you, the 5 minutes practice will trump all those books because it's a feeling thing. And as I mentioned before, it's an internal art. It's not to say that you don't experience anything out here, but it's a feeling thing. Qigong's a feeling thing.
Well, it's just now it's for the record here. We're gonna have our series of Qigong and energy. So we'll be talking about this next time.
Cool. Think about when
there's so much to talk about, honestly.
Yeah. And we were shooting the video just a few weeks ago, and Tim was there at the video. We're standing on top of a scorching mountain. I'm in bare feet on granite stone, and everyone else is like looking at me like, how's this dude doing that? And everyone's grabbing. And again, posture, breath, intention, the power of moving energy in the body to be able to be tuned in enough to know, again, where my limit was too, and I never crossed it.
And this is how people can walk on 800-degree hot coals.
Yeah. You start to really align with energy and how it flows.
Yeah. Well, about to send somebody out to look for Wahid. We almost lost him on that mountain. So.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, it's been a pleasure having you here once again, and I'm so excited about your launch on July 6th, the Health Razor song.
Yeah, me too.
And everything you're doing. I mean, you're a remarkable person, and I think Suchi's already lined you up for our 6 a.m. show for the new morning show, and so whatever you've done. around. You impressed her. All right. So,
cool.
And we'll have your bring kind of awaken people up to what's going on. And I think this is a wonderful experience to have. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're here in our frequency. All right.
Cool. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I got a special exercise too. That's almost like natural caffeine. So we'll definitely do that on the show.
Right,
wake
guys.
people up.
Wake them up. All right. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will see you later tonight. Don't forget WNN, guys, 93.5. Ryan Long. We're going to be going strong in the City Gala.
Strong and long.
We're getting celebrities. We're getting jiggy with celebrities. We'll see you then. Bye.
You have been listening to The Good Intention Show on the UI Radio Network. The Good Intention Show is sponsored by the United